Hi, folks. This is Chris Voss from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. I want to talk to you here. I've talked about this quite a bit in my In the Raw Chris Voss video about how and why I do things. But something I want to talk to specifically, why I do video blogging. Now, it's a little bit revolutionary. I'm a little bit ahead of my time on it. There's lots of other people, of course, doing it, but Google's still trying to figure out how to, get it all mapped into their searches. And it's kind of edgy out there. It's tough to make sure we get ranked and all that good stuff with Google. So, but one of the reasons I want to talk about, to me, it's the real future, video blogging. It takes too much time to read something. If you actually take and look at how much time you read something, depending upon, how you process your data and speed, it can take a whole lot longer than watching a real video. And so most people don't even watch me sometimes. They just listen, turn on the thing, and go about probably doing chores or something. So I like video blogging, but here's the other thing too. I used to have my sister, actually, I should say, used to do this dating on like Match.com and different things like that. And she would meet these guys that could type the most eloquent, lovely, romantic letters, and they were so perfect and everything else. Then she'd meet them and they'd be complete morons, couldn't put much of a sentence together. And she would just be like, who was the person who could type so beautifully and so eloquently? And what she came to find is that many of these people could spend hours poring over and manipulating and shaping the most perfect ways to speak at her and talk to her. But of course, when they met her, that became something fairly different. So one of the reasons that I do video blogging is not only for the time format of it. I don't have a lot of time, and I can punch these out really quickly. It would probably take me a few hours to compile stuff. I can make the most beautifulest posts. I've done a lot of writing. If you go to the Chris Voss Show, you can see some of my quotes. I can really make some beautiful writing when I want to. But to me, it's disingenuous. It really is. It's really fake. If I type some beautiful thing and I spend hours manipulating it, and you read it and go, wow, Chris Voss is the most well-worded, perfectly adjusted person that I've ever met, that's fake and disingenuous. I'm sorry. I'm calling it out. I'm calling it the way that it is. This is real. This is real. You're talking to me. We're having, we're not having a conversation, but unless you're talking to me back, like, what the hell? But this is a real experience. You're getting to know Chris Voss. You're not getting any sort of fakeness. You're not getting any sort of wall that I'm putting up where I'm going, here are my pretty words, and for all you know, I'm, I don't know, digging out of trash cans or something. Recently, someone brought to me some stuff about someone who's very huge on social media, very huge, tons of blogs have been written about him. Basically, is a complete fraud. They've they've been fooling everything with what they've been telling them. What they've been telling people that they have is a complete fraud. They've basically been living in their mother's home and defrauding everyone with what they've been telling them. On top of that, they are a convicted criminal in regards to theft and other issues, and not the sort of person that I think if anyone knew who they truly were, they could be. But this is the problem. You can hide behind the facade of social media. And so I think even more and more we need to be careful as to who we're listening to and what we're doing. I can get up here and pontificate for 10 minutes about business because I know it like the back of my hand. So I just want to point that out to you. To me, if you're writing stuff, it's disingenuous and it's a little too fake because you probably don't talk that way or are that way in real life. For all I know, you're just copying off someone else's blog and don't know what you're doing when it really comes down to it. And a lot of stuff that I read and a lot of investigation I do with background people, I usually end up finding I probably shouldn't be listening to what they're telling me. I've been lucky. I've always been the registered agent on all my corporations that I've created because if I don't own it, I don't control it, I don't do it. Being in real estate and the mortgage business all my life, I've had to pass FBI background checks almost yearly. I've had Interpol crime background checks done on me that I've had to do for the state of Nevada. In the state of Nevada, I also had one of those mob background checks years ago. So I've always been blessed where most of my life has been very public and very open, and there's not a lot to hide because I'm required to be very open and very public. So I'm used to that sort of lifestyle. This doesn't bother me, all this blogging and everything else. Some people it does. But to me, this is real. This is a real connection that we're having in sharing this information with you. If I type something out and it's super pretty, that's just fake. I'm sorry. And if you notice, I've talked about this before. I leave in all the errors, all the stuff. There's very few times where I've edited something out. I think maybe total of 5 times out of 300 videos that we've edited something out. Usually it's a blurb, or I've said something wrong, or sometimes it's a burp or a swear word. Sometimes it's a swear word. So for the largest part, this is the information I'm sharing with you. I've gotten a lot of compliments from people that say, I probably have 1 minute of content, and somehow if I spin it right, I can turn it into a lot more time. Where, Chris, you can go on and talk about content for quite a long time. And usually I have to cut myself off, as I should here. So thanks for coming by the chrisvossshow.com. And I would encourage you in the future, and it is the future, do video blogging. And don't type stuff out. Get people to know you. I want people to get to know me. I take that as a risk, I'm sure, that maybe when people get to know me, they'll be like, Chris Voss is a real jerk, which is fine. That's going to happen. There's that contingency of people. But I would hope that a majority of people are maybe closer to me because I share this information in what I hope is a more intimate way. Thanks for coming by again. Bye-bye.